creativity and imagination. Hello you, yes, you looking at the screen. Have you ever thought about what creativity or imagination is? Do you know what it looks like? I bet you're thinking of things like artwork and decorating a cake or designing a jumper. But it's not just about what we can do with our hands. It's also a way of thinking that can be applied to all areas of life. So it's a way of doing, a way of seeing, and a way of knowing. We are involved in creative learning when we discuss our ideas with our peers, when we think individually and come together to create one big idea, when we use our ideas to create something original, when we have time to think of all the possibilities our imagination can create, when imagination lets me create my own solutions to your problems. If the teacher asks the class for everyone to get up and do a funky dance move, do you think all the children will be doing the same move? I don't think so. Because everyone is special and unique, and no one is the same as each other. Being creative is being able to solve one problem in different ways. So it's being able to take your solution, reflect, and think of other ways you can do it. It's bouncing off ideas of one another to understand other people's creativity. There is never one method to a solution. There is only limitless possibilities. Creativity and imagination allows you to make room for your mistakes. So this means that it doesn't matter if you make a mistake. You're using your creativity and imaginative thinking to get you through your solution. When we use our imagination, we are forming new ideas, images, or concepts of external objects that are not present. Imagination lets you escape from reality and lets you enter into another world. It is like daydreaming, but it's also about real life too. When we use our imagination, we become flexible. Imagination empowers us to communicate and express our feelings effectively. It helps you bring out what you're feeling towards your learning. It is important to remember that creativity is a skill. We can use creativity and imagination throughout classroom discussions, which will help you be more engaged on the topic and give you those light bulb moments. You can be creative in your everyday activities. It is something that you can take with you everywhere you go. Teachers, we need to start being creative. We need to take creativity and imagination and develop it in all subjects for our students. Creativity now is as important in education as literacy, and we need to start treating it with the same status. Every single one of us is born creative. So us as teachers need to understand our own creativity so we can teach and implement creativity to our students. Creativity and imagination is an everyday occurrence. It's about knowing the students and understanding that they learn differently to each other and also to you. It's being able to understand your students' creativity and know how they use it and apply it to the set work. So I want you to think back to when you were planning. Did you incorporate anything that allowed students to be creative and imaginative within their work? Creativity and imagination is like a seed. We as teachers are gardeners that need to ensure that the seed are nourished and nurtured. For a flower to blossom, it needs the right amount of sun and rain. Children are no different. They need patience and time for imagination and creativity to blossom. When students collaborate their ideas amongst one another, they start to form connections that allow imagination and creativity to flourish through a stem of inquiry. A good starting question could be, how could we implement creativity and imagination within our classroom? Well, we could probably structure our learning to be more divergent, allowing time for students to incubate their own ideas and express their feelings, to remind students that it's okay to make mistakes, to reflect, to collaborate together, to come up with endless possibilities for what is relevant and purposeful in their lives. It is important to understand the curriculum that we have and adapting it so that we can incorporate imaginative and creative thinking that can suit our students' needs. To make learning different or unique, we as teachers need to start asking what if or why do you think that sort of questions. Because this allows students to experiment with their thinking, thus allowing them to understand the different possibilities to a solution. By immersing our students in a what-if culture, they have the opportunity to become divergent thinkers and global problem solvers. As teachers, we need to allow our students to freely use their imagination to make learning relevant to them, as they'll be able to feel more indulged in their learning. Creative thinking will enable students to cope with and be a part of the ever-changing world that really needs creative solutions to some of the biggest problems that we are facing in the global community. As teachers, we need to model and teach creativity. We need to motivate our students to embrace their creativity and imagination through their everyday life so that they are able to become the valuable innovators, pioneers, visionaries in our global, national and local society. We need to give our students the confidence to lead and take ownership of their learning. We also need to use creativity and imagination in our planning so that we can see the full potential. Okay, so given a recap of what imagination is, it involves students to use their minds, which helps them enter into another world in a sense, where they are problem solving and trying to solve solutions. They're trying to think on a deeper level. So they're entering into a daydream in a sense, where they explore all possibilities and solutions. Creativity and imagination work collaboratively together. So when a child is imagining something, they're thinking about the ideas and exploring it in their mind. Whereas creativity is when the student actually does what they're imagining. So it's when they perform what they're thinking in their head. So they're using the problem solving and the forming connections and all those sort of skills that they're using in their head, and they're actually putting that into practice. Let's take a look at a couple of things, shall we? I bet you love watching some TV and playing on your phone. How about making something in the oven and putting all the dishes back in the dishwasher? How about a long day after sweeping, boiling the kettle for a nice hot cuppa? How about putting your hat back on the hat stand while you get your umbrella? All these things that we've just seen require people to use their creativity and imaginative thinking to create inventions that we use in our everyday lives. When a mother's child is crying, the mother is using creativity and imaginative thinking to figure out why the baby is crying. They come up with solutions. Does the baby need food? Does the baby need their diaper changed? What does the baby need? Without even realizing it, we are actually using our creative thinking to solve solutions to everyday problems. Your child has the potential to become an inventor, to become anything that they set their minds to. And in that process, they will be using imaginative and creative thinking. Your child can achieve the goals that they want to achieve. They just have to use their imaginative and creative thinking for them to get there. But you also, as a parent, have to allow them to be creative and to be imaginative at home. Geva Tully, the founder of Tinkering School, discusses how people protect their children too much. And this, therefore, cuts off our children from valuable opportunities to learn and interact with the world around them. Tuli discusses 5 dangerous things that you should let your kids do. One of these things is playing with fire. Even though this may sound absurd, playing with fire actually helps students learn about some of the basic principles about fire. Tuli says, let them fool around with it on their own terms. You don't know what they're going to learn from playing with it. So parents, let your children be more hands-on, because when they're hands-on, they are able to use their imaginative and creative thinking to discover the world around them. It's okay for your kids to fall and hurt themselves and to have bruises and scratches all on them, because these are the opportunities where your children learn and discover the consequences. They're able to explore how things work in the world. It is important for parents to become aware of what creative and imaginative thinking is, so that you can implement it and encourage it at home. This approach will help your child become more resilient, develop respect, and have adaptive skills. It will help them effectively solve problems that they may face within society.